All right, guys, welcome back to the Lake Norman Business Podcast. My name is Danny Decker, here with Ryan Weber, as always. And today we're really excited to welcome to the show Andrew Isaac from i6 Graphics. Andrew, thanks for being here, man.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Good to be here.
So tell us a little bit about i6 and what you do.
Yeah, i6 Graphics. The slogan I'm working on right now is we build brands. That's really what we do, is come alongside business owners, evaluate the current branding and marketing that they have, and consult on that. We do logo design, websites, a lot of print layout for marketing, and and then of course new businesses starting up. Those are kind of the ideal client, is helping somebody actually from the very beginning define their brand.
So you're wanting to talk. You're kind of focused more on the visuals of their branding.
Yeah, the visuals and the messaging as well, for sure. Especially with a new business that's starting, we can kind of help them formulate that and set that foundation for their brand.
Nice.
Andrew, one thing I've always liked about what you do is I feel like you're one of a relatively small percentage of designers and marketers that still focuses on like old school, like print marketing, you know, marketing that you can actually hold in your hand as opposed to doing everything digitally. So talk to us a little bit kind of about that.
I think the root of that is that I love layout, personally as a designer. And so, but there is something in this digital age about a tangible piece of paper that you hold in your hand, and so much more than like sending an email to a client with a mock-up. They'll be excited about it, but when they get a printed piece in their hand and they hold it, it's like there's a whole new level of excitement because it's something real that you're holding that represents who they are as a brand. And so, yeah, man, print for me, the good quality paper, it just really sets a tone for your business.
My wife needs to talk to you. My wife is like a paper geek.
Yeah.
Like pens and paper. Like she will spend money on good quality paper and like very crazy pens.
Yeah.
They write so good on this paper. I'm like, okay, found the perfect guy for you to talk to.
Nice.
That's funny. So Andrew, tell us, do you have any specific niche that you work with? Do you kind of work with businesses of all shapes and sizes? Like who's your kind of ideal client?
So there's always kind of who you're with now and who you're wanting to move towards. My current landscape, because I'm a fairly young business, about 5 years old. So I've worked with a lot of nonprofits actually, and churches, and then a lot of small business owners like in the home service industry. And that's what I'm really moving toward, is that home service industry niche, which is, contractors, plumbers, HVAC, all those types of small to medium-sized businesses who they've got a crew, they're starting to get momentum, and they know they need to spend more money on their branding and their marketing.
Well, I have a referral for you. So before
awesome.
you leave, let me tell you, I do
like that.
video marketing for a business coach in the construction industry.
Gotcha.
So he works with a bunch of people that are looking to rebrand and stuff.
Awesome, man.
There you go.
Well, and Andrew,
Lake Norman Business Podcast.
Boom, making connections. That's what we do. You told me a story, Andrew, one time about you pulled into a parking lot of one of those home services businesses, and I don't know if it was a client of yours or just someone you knew. And tell me that story about like the 5 different trucks. And
yeah, so I won't say their name because they're a client, but I pulled in, for the first time. There's a big vinyl banner which looked brand new with kind of a nice logo, although the name is very confusing. It doesn't actually tell you anything about the fact that they're roofers or contractors. But then I went up to the front door of the office, and there was like a totally different style on the window, which looked maybe 10 years old or something. And then I got inside, met the secretary, sat down with the owners, and I looked out the window, and there was like a truck yard with where all their contractors and all their service guys park. And literally I counted 5 different like the same name, but 5 different logo styles or branding styles on the trucks. Like at different stages, they had paid different print shops, here's our name, just do whatever you want to do, kind of a thing. And I see that all the time as brands over time, they just disseminate into chaos. And as a business owner, you're just trying to get the next thing done. And a lot of times you're not thinking about branding, and it can be really confusing for people when they see a sign in the driveway, for this roofer, but the truck looks different and the t-shirt looks different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, to kind of get into our episode today, I have heard through the grapevine that you have a superpower of actually working on your business, which is very, very difficult for business owners, especially small business owners getting started, because you're usually a solopreneur or you've got a team of one or two, and you focus a lot of your time on serving your clients.
Absolutely.
But if you don't focus on your business, you're not going to have a business to serve clients. So tell us a little bit about what you do successfully to work on your business weekly.
Yeah. I'll start by saying about halfway through the life of my business, I read E-Myth. I don't know if you guys have read that.
I love it.
Oh, yeah. That was a game changer.
Yeah.
That book changed my course of my professional career more than like any other book. Yeah.
So that was an aha moment for me when I realized no matter how good I become at being a designer, if I'm not a good business owner, then like, what am I doing? Or I just need to go work for somebody, because you can't be successful if you're just good at the craft and not actually good at running the business. And so I realized, fairly early on, a couple years into the business, that I've got a lot of weak spots. And so to me, business development and working on the business is honestly about evaluating where there are holes in my skill set and then finding the right processes or people to kind of fill those gaps. So, I could just talk about a few of the things that I do.
Let's do it. Like, what are some tactful things? I struggle with this. I do social media and content marketing for businesses, and I manage 15 businesses of all of their content, and I put out a ton of content, and I don't focus anything on mine. I don't have time.
Yeah.
So what do you do? How can I help me, Andrew? Help.
So there's 3 things right now that I'm doing that I could speak to, that are 3 different scheduled chunks during my week that kind of force me to give attention to my own company, because I'm the same way. I build websites for people, but I haven't worked on my own website in so long, which is just, it's horrible, And so the first thing is on Tuesday mornings, I've got 1 full-time employee, so there's 2 of us. And on Tuesday mornings, we have Marketing Tuesdays. So basically from 9 to 11 a.m. Monday, we kind of get caught up and make sure we're getting everything moving right. Tuesday morning for 2 hours, we just work on i6 graphics marketing content.
That's so amazing.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So it's print newsletter stuff, MailChimp, e-newsletter stuff, social media posts. And we talk a little strategy. Actually, once a month, we get a little more in depth into the strategy part and where we're going, which Danny's actually helped me with quite a bit. But every Tuesday, we actually spend that time doing the stuff. So actually writing out the newsletters and putting them together.
I mean, that is just such a big deal. Like, that sounds simple, but that is such a big deal.
Yeah.
So how do you, because here's what I'm envisioning happening. Monday night, you guys have a client that emails you and is like, oh my gosh, I have an urgent project. I need it by noon on Tuesday or something like that. Or who knows what comes up. How do you manage to actually keep that time clear and actually work on it instead of just letting whatever emergencies come your way knock you off course?
Well, I'll say first of all that those things are so rare that I think that way too when I'm evaluating, but then in real life, that's extremely rare. So I try to not use that as an excuse. If that does happen, we'll work on the stuff we need to work on to get it out for the client, and then we'll adjust, but we won't just delete those 2 hours. We'll shift them in the day just to make sure that we're still
make sure
honoring
you have
that time.
those 2 hours.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, so it's been really good. I mean, just blocking that time, it's accountability for us to keep thinking about it and keep working on it. And honestly, you really need at least 2 hours to get in that mindset, to pull away from your clients, get into your mindset of your own business, and focus on what you need to do.
Yeah. No, that's so smart, Andrew. Talk to me about kind of the decision you made to, because I know a lot of designers who tend to be kind of just one-person shops, right? And that's awesome. But you've kind of made a conscious decision to start building a team so that you can almost buy back some of your own time to work on some of that high-level stuff. So how do you think about that?
Yeah, man. I think that I see some business owners get so much work coming in that they just have to hire somebody. For me, I was maintaining the design work. The problem is I had kind of flatlined. So for a couple of years, I could do all the design work, but I had no time to do anything else. So my business wasn't growing. I was just flat. And so really the full-time hire was a strategic move, which was a little painful because I didn't have all the work to actually, pay for the two of us yet. But it's a strategic move because it is like literally every hour that I'm paying Jordan to work is an hour that I have to work on the business and actually grow and develop those processes that we were talking about.
I did the same thing. I hired a video editor to edit the videos that we shot, and I was able to buy back. Anytime you shoot a video, generally it takes like triple the amount of time to edit it.
Right.
And I bought back basically 3 hours per hour of shooting every single time. And so, I mean, I was able to add like 5 new clients, and I didn't have the money up front to pay for it.
Right.
But having that extra time to then put into my marketing and stuff like that, it definitely made a huge difference. You said you have 3 times during week.
Sure.
We got 1.
Yeah.
What are those other 2? Because I'm still wanting to.
Yeah, sure. So the second one is BNI, Business Network International. I don't know if you guys have heard of that group. It's every Wednesday morning. And when I found out that it was a business networking group that met once a week, I kind of checked myself for a second, like that seems like a big commitment. But that accountability of once a week. And I'll tell you what, BNI is basically a business networking where you have, you can only have one type of business right in that group, so that it's a referral network, and everybody in that group is going to, they're going to say you're the design and website guy, and we're going to send people to you. So, so it's great in the referral sense. But for me, I'll tell you, I was thinking about it just the other day. The big benefit for me so far is every Wednesday morning, you have to stand up in front of 20, 25 people and give your 45-second commercial, they call it. Well, that forces me, because I'm not out selling all the time, that forces me to actually work on clarifying my message. Because it's like a weekly exercise where I've got to think about what am I going to say to these people about what I do? How am I going to make it really crystal clear so they understand and there's no friction or barriers for them? First of all, giving me a referral, and then understanding what I do.
Right. No, that's great. And my wife's in one. She's in a women's one Wednesday morning, and she loves it because it's exactly what you said. The clarifying your message, the referral network's just kind of a side bonus, but being able to say exactly what you do and get feedback from other business owners like, actually, you said this and I have a question about it. Well, if you have a question, you need to clarify your message better.
Yeah. I've even come in there with like a newsletter that I'm working on and hand it out to 25 people and ask them for feedback.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's like you've got this whole group of other people who are thinking about their businesses, and we're all holding each other accountable.
No, I love it. Okay, so you work on your marketing on Tuesday mornings. You do BNI. What's your third window of time where you're working on your business?
Yeah, so the third one is the biggest one, and it's made exponentially the biggest impact on my business, and that's having a coach, a business coach. So every Friday at 2 p.m., I have a 1-hour call with my business coach. He's in Lexington, Kentucky. And, man, I've been doing that for, it's a little over a year now. And it's made, just by far the biggest impact on my business than anything else could do. For sure, 100%.
Yeah, been there, done that myself. Same. I tell everybody the same thing. I said, when you are starting a business, the first thing you need to do is budget a business coach in there, because they will move you forward so much faster than trying to screw up on your own.
Yeah.
It's been by far my biggest impactful thing that I ever have done in business in general.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, it's funny. I went through a season where I was thinking about just cutting it out because
it's an expense.
It's a business expense.
But it's not.
Exactly.
It's an asset.
What's funny is I depend on him a lot for helping me process these decisions. And so I actually was like processing the decision of whether I should keep a business coach with my business coach. And so, of course, he was trying to be really,
he was doing what he was supposed to do.
So he walked me through it, but he really actually kind of pulled me off the ledge and was like, I want what's best for you. But anyways, he has helped me with beyond just the business stuff, like all the way down to the core of what I want as a person, what my aspirations are and how to flesh that out into a business and in the rest of my life. And it's been a huge impact.
That's awesome, man. So let's leave our listeners with kind of one piece of advice. So they're listening to this and they're thinking, yeah, that sounds great, but I'm always so busy. Like I can barely get all the work done. I just don't have time to work on my business. So what's the kick in the butt that you can give everybody to make time to start working on your business?
Yeah, my advice is you've got to have something on your calendar, and then you've got to honor that thing on your calendar. I know when you put your own appointment on there,
just like a client meeting, you don't miss
Exactly.
it. This is a client meeting, but you're your own client.
Exactly. And it's hard at first for sure when you're not used to that. But I think the habits are formed when you've got like a trigger and then a behavior and then a reward. Right. And so for me, as I went through that process of just like letting the calendar be the trigger, going through the motions of working on the business, and it's so rewarding because you feel like you're moving forward instead of being stuck in one spot. And so just getting something on the calendar, whether it's a business coach appointment or just taking an hour out of your day to focus on your business and, not like organizing your clients list and stuff, but actually your own marketing, your own direction, your own processes.
Right.
Love it. Well, Andrew, thanks a lot for being here, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
How can people reach you if they want to follow along with your story and your journey?
Yeah. So the website is I6 Graphics, letter I, number 6 Graphics. And I'm working at the Hub in Davidson, which is a great place to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
are you on Facebook?
Yeah. Facebook, I6 Graphics, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that stuff. Yeah.
Awesome, guys.
All right.
Well, we definitely appreciate it, Andrew. Very, very helpful tips, and we look forward to hearing more from you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.